Hello my YouTube fans, it is time. I am finally there. So I went out tonight and rode around in an empty parking lot with the lights on, putting mileage and putting the battery through its paces. Remember I told you the idea was to get it down to about 50%. Let me just move this. There we go. That's better. So, as I also mentioned, when you ride around, it the battery level on the computer shows a certain percentage, and then when you turn it off and turn it back on again, it goes up as much as 5% just from the rest. So I rode around town, around my street, and a little bit several blocks away, if you can call them blocks around here. And then I decided I didn't want to go anywhere. I just wanted to get the battery down to 50% or lower. So I went to the dollar store parking lot, which is actually the OTB racing also, and put a few miles on it there. So the mileage on the odometer, on the trip odometer, is now at 26.5 miles. So if I want to give a real stress test, let's ignore a half a mile, because as you know, with the video that I was doing with the putting the weights on the back wheel, it was free spinning, really no stress. I mean, there's some wear there, some but there's really very little stress involved. So just to be really mean to Magicycle, let's chop that half a mile off. Let's call it 26 miles. And the battery went down to 45%. So I was also in the parking lot doing a lot of pedal assist. I was riding around the streets also with a lot of pedal assist. On the street, I didn't do much, just accelerator, except just gently, just to bring it up to about 15 miles an hour or something like that. But in the parking lot, I decided to deliberately trying to drain the battery, because the parking lot was nearly empty. I was also practicing control of the bike, so I was doing figure eights and whatnot around the poles and trying to teach myself control of the bike in a quick situation and stuff like that. Then I would go from one end of the parking lot to the other under full acceleration, and at 50%, I was still up to 25 or 25.5 miles an hour, I think. Of course, I actually, the distance between one end of the parking lot to the other didn't always allow me to get up to the full speed, so we'll call it 26 miles an hour. But so that was at 50%, and then I decided to at that point it was under 25 miles. It was like 24.5 miles. So at that point I decided, well, let me get it at least 25 miles. And this is a parking lot that's a short distance, walking distance from where I'm at right now. So I decided to do some more until I got it down to below 50%. And when I looked down at the odometer, I saw it said 26.5 miles, or over 26 miles, and then maybe 25.9 or something, and then the trip home from the parking lot was like 0.1 miles or less. But anyway, so when I got into the garage, it was 26 and I don't know, point something miles, 26.5 miles, I think I said, and the display said it was 45% battery. So I shut it off, waited a few seconds, turned it back on, and sure enough, then it told me it was 50% battery. There's also, I wanted to show you on the battery itself, there is also a battery indicator. There's a little button here, and there's 4 lights, as you can see, one of which is out. Okay, so the red light on top is the empty one, and then there's 3 more lights, 2 of which are lit. So am I to believe that this is 3/4, 75%, or am I to believe that it's 2 out of 3 and it's 66%? But either way, it's showing more than the computer showed. So that's the one on the Magicycle battery itself. All right. So we're going to go ahead, and I forgot to clear the odometer, but that's okay. I'll do it when I get back, when I put the battery back on. We're going to go ahead, and here's the charger. It's a 3 amp charger. We're going to go ahead and charge it up. I think I'm supposed to plug it in first. No, I'm supposed to plug the... Let me just see if I can remember. When I used to use the battery charger for the car, they told me to connect it to the battery first, so I'm going to do that. I'll check the instructions to see what it actually says, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. Now, it's a very odd plug, and it looks like it doesn't matter which of the 3 it goes in, because they're like, the shape is the same on all 3 spaces. So we're gonna just do it, unless there's a key. I don't see a key here. No, it's just the 3 prongs. Okay, I plugged it in. This is the, but let me just show you this before I start charging. This is the connector to the bike. So I'm going to go ahead and just stand this up like this. This flat surface. What is that? What is that thingamajig that I'm looking at? Some kind of mark on this thing. Okay. Alright, we're going to go ahead and plug it in. Perhaps I really should check the instructions. Nah. I'm just going to go ahead and plug it in. We don't need no instructions. Okay. Alright, so the light turned, I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, the light turned green first, and then red for charging. And I don't know if you can hear that because there's an air conditioner on too, but there's actually a fan in this. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and give it a full charge for tomorrow's ventures. But as far as the testing for these particular 3 videos, is it 3 videos or is it 4? I think it's 3. I didn't want to bring it down any further than that, because according to the instructions, I'm supposed to charge it after every use of the bike. But that's kind of ambiguous, because you know, people who go out with the bike and use it for 10 or more miles, yeah, I can see them coming back and putting it on charge. But I go out and I go a couple of miles, and you know, it's not good for a battery to be charged every, you know, topped off, as they say, every time. So I kind of make up my own rules, so to speak. I play the same game with the cell phone, because it's a lithium-ion battery. Sometimes I'll charge it up from 60% because I'm going out and I want to have a full charge on my phone. But if I'm not going anywhere for a few days, I let it go down to 35% or less, you know, to really give it a workout. But you never want to take a lithium-ion battery down below 10%. So the Magicycle will actually shut off on you. So let me actually show you my face if you want to see my face. So you see that charging now, and okay. Alright, so it's been a little bit of an adventure for me getting this bike. I can tell you, as far as the review is concerned, I can tell you a few glitches. For one thing, I didn't tell you that my front brake was always slightly rubbing. But after the workout I gave it tonight, it's actually oscillatingly slightly rubbing. I can actually hear it going kind of like, or a little kind of like thing. It's not really stopping the wheel unless you try to freewheel it. But I think hammering down on the front brake a couple of times might have slightly bent the disc. And I'm looking down. I'm sorry about that. I'm looking at the charger. It might have actually slightly bent the disc. I've seen some videos on Magicycle reviews. There are some customers that actually had some issues with slightly bent discs. So this seems to be a common occurrence. I waited so long for this thing. I'm not going to make an issue out of it, because if I have to wait for a part, I might not even be in this house anymore. I don't even know. But it's got a 2-year warranty. As far as I know, it's covered. So I'll figure that out when the time comes. In the meantime, if I can tease the bend out of it gently, I'll try that. But it's not critical. It's just a bit of an annoyance. But like I said, because the brakes, the mechanical brakes, as our friend Russ is right would say, the calipers. Let me see if I'm the calipers on these, the mechanicals. There's only one side that moves. So the disc is in between my, say my hands or the caliper, the brake pads, and the disc is in between my hands. The one side moves in and presses up against the disc and presses the disc. It actually bends the disc into the other brake pad, which is kind of odd to me. I tried to adjust it, bring it out, but it seems like the settings are all already out. I would have to actually release the cable to let it loose a little bit. So and I tried to do that, and the thing is, the whole thing is on a spring system, and it takes some doing to hold it while you're trying to turn the Allen wrench. So I gave up on it. But that's the way it is on the mechanical disc brakes. There's one side that pushes, and it actually pushes the disc into the other pad. So maybe I could try and move the pad caliper, the whole thing over, so that it doesn't do that. We'll see. I'm not going to worry about that until tomorrow. But there it is. There you have it. So we got 20. What did I say? 26.5 miles. Chop off the half mile for the freewheeling I did while adding the weights. Say 26 miles. Out of about half the battery. I think that's damn good. Even if we were to call it 40%, or even if we were to call it 45% rather, we're still looking at at least an additional 10 or 15 miles. I'm only guessing at this point. I'm not going to drain the battery completely to give you a report on that, because I wouldn't want to damage my battery just to do that. And these batteries, by the way, are like anywhere between $400 and $600, maybe even $700. That depends on which ones you buy. This particular one might be on sale right now for like around $500. I don't remember. So that's a large portion of the expense of the bike. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to ruin the battery. But yeah, I mean, considering that the mileage range reported in the instructions is from 35 to 55 miles, I think, depending on how you ride it, depending on how heavy you are. And I happen to be a light person, so that there's one reason right there why I'm getting the higher range, because I'm a lightweight. I weigh probably 130 pounds, maybe even less, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna get the range out of it. But I was putting it through its paces. I was accelerating with the accelerator full blast a couple of times, you know, a few times, and I was putting it through its paces, but I was also pedal assisting and stuff like that. So I was giving it a good test, let's put it that way. So there it is, there you have it. That's my report for now. Now that I practiced, I'm probably going to my first trip on the actual 50-mile-an-hour highway is going to be a semi-short distance between 2 points that I have to. There's no other back road unless I go zigzagging through. You know, I'll get lost in town to get to the chess club Thursday. I'm going to take this bike to the chess club Thursday unless it's pouring rain. So I didn't go last Thursday because I had just gotten the bike, and I didn't want to hop on the bike and go on the highway, you know, first time out, because it was kind of scary. So, but I am getting used to it now, and especially since I just practiced in the parking lot, I think I can do it. I did go on the highway for a very short distance this afternoon. I'm not sure if I told you that. Yeah, I think I did. Did I tell you that? Well, I did, and I got myself a 12-pack of beer on the way back. So, and I was able to exit the lot off the highway. So, okay, I think that's it. Is there anything else I can think of? I told you about the little brake issue. Let me think. I don't know. That's it for now. I did see some LED lights, some like strip. They call them strip lights on Amazon for $26. That you can literally, you know, they're better than the ones that I've got on the front wheel because they're flat and they can stick on. I might do that, but they're USB, so I couldn't use them on the wheel anyway. But I will be able to power them up on the bike because the bike has a USB charging station, you know, charging port on it, and it would make the whole bike light up. I can trace the shape of the bike, yeah, you know, with these LED lights. I've seen a YouTube guy do it, and he's the one that gave the link to the Amazon link. So I might do that sooner or later. That would be pretty cool. It would make me even more visible. It's really what I wanted anyway. They also have stem lights, which I might look into for the back wheel, so I can get the back wheel lit up without going through a big hassle, etc., so forth and so on, blah blah blah. I think that's the end of the video. Goodbye. No. Please subscribe, and hey, listen, it seems like I see some views out there, but nobody's hitting the like button, or even the dislike button for that matter. There's a couple out there. I got one troll who's always hitting the dislike button, but that's he's a known person that I know that who's doing it. So, but even a dislike button will let YouTube know what you want to see, you know, like, dislike, etc. If you have a question that I haven't answered about e-bikes, you know, e-bikes are becoming a trend now, especially for us older folks. If you have a question, please comment. And I think that's it. I think that's really it now. Yep, okay. Please subscribe, hit the like button, comment. Sayonara.